Now, part two of this is we want to create our cladding wall. So I know a lot of you investigated Kingspan and there are various different panel systems, and you know that you can download Kingspan panel systems. So that's what I'm going to show you here now. I will go into, let's see, File, Open, and here is one of the Kingspan projects, okay? Now, Kingspan, some of their elements are families and others are projects. The panels tend to be projects, okay? And this is what you get. So let's just have a quick look at that. So this is the kind of a picture of the Quattro panel. Notice it's got vertical substructure rails here. I'm not quite sure whether there are horizontal railing systems there as well. I suspect that there are. Okay, and if you go into a 3D view of that, you'll see these are all the panel systems lined up here. Now they're basically the same, okay? So they're just, it's the same panels, a different thickness. That's really all that it is. If I click into this one, the interesting part of it really, to be honest with you, is the all the data that comes along with it. All of this data is what is required in terms of a professional contract. It's good to know that that's there. That's one of the reasons why you would use one of these panels over making your own or something different, all right? So how do I get these panels from here into my project? Because this project to project. So let's take a quick look at that. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to close down a few views and I'm going to tile these two views here. So I've got the two projects side by side. Here's our project and here's the Kingspan one. Now, in order to get these or the walls that I want to use into the project, I use what's called the Manage Transfer Project Standard. So let's have a look at that. Now, notice that it's going from Shane's model right into the Kingspan model. Well, I don't want it to go that way. I want it to go the other way. All right. So I need to cancel that, and then I need to activate Shane's model view, and I'll go back in here again, Manage Transfer Project Standards. Now you can see copy from Kingspan into the open file that's there, which is our one. Right, hit check none, all the way down, pick the wall types. Now notice that I can't go in and choose the wall types, I have to load them all in. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to say new only, and that has shifted all those wall types in there. I'm going to get out of that. Don't need to save that, and we'll open up here. All right, now, so if I go over to architecture into wall here and hit the properties, okay, and now you can see there's all of the Kingspan walls. Now, if you don't want all of those walls in your project, there is a way of getting them out. So you're going to go into manage and purge unused. Now, the first thing you always do when you bring up purge unused, everything is checked. See that? So you want to make sure to check none. That's really important because you could purge accidentally everything that's all of the valuable features that we put into our template file could be chucked out, so you don't want that. If you come down to the walls, basic wall, and open that up there. Now here's all the Kingspan ones here, all right, that you just loaded in. So I'm going to pick majority of these. I'm going to use the 80mm panel, and I'm going to keep the horizontal and the vertical panel for each of these. Okay, leave that one there. So the only two I've left are the 80mm horizontal and 80mm vertical. I'll go okay. Now back into my walls here, and you'll see that those two are left in the project. All right, now, so how do we go about creating this wall? And so there's a few little tricks that you need to know here. And what we're going to do, even though it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, is that we're actually going to create a curtain wall at the end of the gable end here. All right, we're going to create a curtain wall. Now, there's other ways to do this, but this is, to me, the most effective way to do it. Now we've got curtain wall to this long side here and that side there, but we're going to create, that'll be glass, but this will be the curtain wall, this will be the Kingspan panel. So watch what I'm going to do here. Going back into my ground floor plan. Now, I'm going to come around the corner here a little bit, about a third of the way, and then drag the panel in around here about a third of the way as well to get my kickoff points. Right, so we're into architecture, we're into wall. Now, let's hit the drop down box. Now, instead of choosing, which is your first inclination to pick one of these here, don't do that, okay? What you're going to choose is this here, curtain wall. And you're going to go from ground to parapet level, correct? And I said we were going to start something like 1700 or 1600 or so from there. And I'm going to pick a point here. Okay, now don't worry too much about this because we can actually quite easily kind of work these around the corner or so, so 1600, something like that. Now, all right, so I can always pick that and just move it a little bit closer, and I can pick this one and we're just a little bit closer, not too much, because remember the panel thickness that we're going to be using is 80 mil. All right, so I'm just going to move that one in around there. Okay, now that's good enough to start with. All right, and if we go into my 3D, you'll see that basically we've got there you go, you can see that we have glass around the corner here. Now into your south elevation. And I can switch that off now. I don't really need that, to be honest with you, but switch it off, and there's my curtain wall glazing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide up my curtain wall using the curtain grid. Now you've seen this done before, so I just tend to go kind of center to center, to be honest with you. I'll go center here, center there, center there, center there. I think these panels are 1 meter by 2 meters, so look, 1975, I'm not too far off of that. Now I'm going to leave that. That's all I'm going. That's the vertical grids. I'm going to put in the horizontal grids slightly different way, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in a second or two. In fact, what I might do is I can do it this way. Let me see. No, I just put in the panels, and I'll show you how to do that now. Right. So we've got our grids in there, right? Now what we're going to do, we're going to pick the whole of the curtain wall, okay? So the whole of the curtain wall, and the whole of this one, and the whole of that one, all right? And we're going to go into the edit type properties of the curtain wall. Within the edit type properties, we get a little bit more functionality on how to and how we go and make up the elements of the curtain wall, if you like. First one you're looking for here is the curtain panel. See that? And it currently is defaulted to none. If we hit the drop down box in the panel here, you can see we have access to walls, right? Including our panels. So here's our 80 mil horizontal. Now I'll pick the 80 mil horizontal for the moment, okay? Not finished yet. I want to put in some mullions here, and you know that the panels have little grommets in between each one. So to represent those, I'm using that rectangular mullion 30 square, and I'm going to put those into all the different border types here, like so. Okay, so 30 mil and 30 mil. Now I'm ready to go, and I'll hit apply. Okay, now you can see immediately, look what I've got. I've got my curtain wall. All right. Now, if we zoom in here a little bit, you will see that there is the vertical mullion. The line you're seeing here is the line that is on the panel from Kingspan. Now, what I'd like to be able to do is to do something similar to what I've done here by placing that 30 millimeter square mullion in there. So that's why I said leave that till we come till we've created it. Now, we're going to go back to our curtain grid, and we're going to pop up here. We're going to pick each on the grid lines. Because they're lines, it is allowing me actually snap onto those. Be careful that you don't snap onto the level markers, and sometimes if you move in a little bit closer. But if you look what I'm doing here, you can see now that my mullions are going in very nicely there. Okay, I'm going to come up here. I'll just zoom out here a little bit. Okay, and my panels are being divided up absolutely spot on and perfect here. Okay, and again, just making sure to avoid that kind of grid line there, like so. Now, again, if I go into my 3D here, you can see now I've got a really well divided up panel there. Now, I would do the same around the corner here, and I would do the same around the corner there. And depending on what this detail is here, this kind of join detail, let's go into the ground floor plan and take a look at that. Okay, so we've got the kind of mullions at either end there, kind of connecting that in, and those would have maybe a cover sheet or something like that over them. Okay, something like that, and that's another little technique that we can look at later. All right, so there's my plan. Now, once you've got that technique kind of sorted, then you can come over here to the other side, right? And you're going to do the exact same. You're going to bring the wall, curtain wall, all the way around like so, and around the corner here and around the corner there. And you will apply, first of all, you will apply the technique of putting in the horizontal beam systems, right? And then you'll draw in your curtain wall and you'll substitute out the panels into that. Now, then that same technique will apply when you go to, remember the way we had the curtain wall coming up above the parapet wall and then coming around into the other side as well? Well, basically it's the same technique to do that as well. So that is how we would create the metal cladding at this end here. Now we do need to create a couple of openings here, okay, for escape doors and things like that. And there's another couple of techniques that we need to look at when we go and do that. Okay, we leave that one at that.